on my first day at Cargill in Geneva, I found my way to the head of human resources, who I was meeting for the first time in person. And she said, Julie, you will be the youngest on the trading desk and the only female. And I've stuck my neck out for you, so please don't fail me. So flash forward today, I am the founder of PanXchange. We're an over-the-counter exchange for physical commodities, any natural resource, ags, metal, or energy. To you guys in the room, that's the underlying market. And I feel more and more it's noteworthy to say that this is the reason, this constituency is why the CBOT was founded 170 years ago, for these producers, processors, and end users to hedge their forward price risk. So my path has been a little unconventional, and I'm hoping that that lends some new ideas for you all, because what I want to talk to you about is the convergence of two ideas, and that is global trading markets. And I think it's a really, really exciting time to be in these markets. You guys are in for an incredible ride, and it's all going to be about disruptive technology. But at the same time, the concept of entrepreneurship is so romanticized and tragically hip. So I want to give you a reality check on that, see if it's right for you, because if it's not, there's still some other ways that you can ride this wave of disruptive tech. So no matter which way you go, you need to build your foundation. Go get good at something you love. There's info all over the web and on MarketsWiki on how to do this and why it's important. But it's not just about finding your passion. You need to find your niche. So for example, when I was trading Latin American sugar for Cargill, it was a net surplus area. And so I was limited in how much I could trade because there's nowhere to go with it. So I created a business plan for an import and distribution business in Peru. And next thing you know, we're launching the company's first in-country operation for sugar. And then when they created the financial markets division, I jumped all over this. I learned as much as I could from this team about how to embed options into cash contracts. And I was customizing these contracts for with no-cost collars and floors and ceilings. It was new to them, it was new to me, and I loved it. And of course, when electricity became deregulated, I jumped at the chance to go to Sempra Energy trading. How many times in a person's career can you get to be a player in a brand new market? So clearly my passion's commodities, my niche is business development. So go find that and get good at it. Second thing I'd recommend is interview. As much as you can, even if you're not looking for work. It's a life skill. And it gets you out of your bubble, you build your network, you hone your communication skills by articulating your skill set and quantifying the things that you've accomplished to date. And now as an employer, I'll tell you that the best candidates are the ones that ask me the good questions. Have they researched the industry, and are they trying to fully understand PanXchange's place in that? Are they trying to envision themselves in this job? And I'll confess to you, when I was in your shoes, the question I hated the most was, what's your 5-year plan? I never got it. Why can't you just hire me and we'll circle back to that at the year-end review? But there's nothing like a couple of unforced layoffs to make you realize, gee, maybe you should look up and get a plan going. And I guarantee you're never going to get there the way you thought you would, but if you don't map it out, you're never going to get there at all. So the third part about your foundation is building your network and your reputation. I know a lot of these companies have mentoring programs. Take advantage of them. I'm sure they're awesome. Don't ever rely on one person alone. People move. But mentorship doesn't have to be formal. If there's an area of business that you want to go learn about, take the initiative and go meet some people and talk to them. If there's a head of trading or a director that you may want to work for at some point, put together some intelligent questions and go up to them. And I bet you'd be surprised how willing they are to help you along your way. And another thing that people don't really tell you, but right now is where you guys are start building the definition of your personal self. So I mean, how are you going to react if a colleague steals your idea? Or one of the older guy down the hall gets laid off? Can you be diplomatic with him as much as you can with colleagues and your peers that may not be catching on to stuff as fast as you? Whatever you do, get your ego out of the way and always be accountable. People screw up, just own it. It's kind of a peeve of mine. So that's the foundation. let's talk about entrepreneurship, because it boggles my mind when 20-somethings talk about wanting to be an entrepreneur. You can't be an entrepreneur until you get that big idea. And that idea needs to be so big, it feels like a curse as much as a blessing, in the sense that you know you have to go do it. It's going to give you insomnia. It's going to give you delusions of grandeur. Don't worry about that one. Funding will knock you back on your butt pretty fast. You don't just need this passion, you need conviction. I'm absolutely sure if I quit PanXchange tomorrow, someone else would pick it up. The reason you need all this is, no matter how hard you think it is to be an entrepreneur, trust me, it is exponentially harder and slower and more expensive. So you really need to have this conviction. But that's not all you need. Can you be an extreme extrovert? I mean, really extreme. Can you make a conversation with an evacuated building? Can you be shameless in promoting yourself and your company? As an entrepreneur, I have 2 jobs: sell the vision and don't run out of money. And every day I am leaning on my network, trying to find customer leads, funding leads, employee leads. I wouldn't be there without them, or the ability to ask them for help, and I'm exceptionally grateful for them. So what if this isn't for you? Doesn't mean you miss this wave of disruptive technology. What if you just got a mortgage, or you want to start a family? There's a bunch of other ways that you can go about getting involved in disruptive tech. For example, think of starting with an early stage company, not an embryonic startup, but maybe one that's got some traction, like proof of concept, a strategic partner, or some anchor clients. In this case, ask yourself a few questions. Are the entrepreneurs instilling their passion into you? What's the roadmap for growth, and does it make sense to you? Do they have a clearly defined job for you, and are you comfortable with it? And of course, do they have enough funding for you to be convinced to leave the security of your current job? You absolutely have the right to ask these questions, and you should. So the last way I want to talk about is the least risky way to get involved in disruptive tech, but also the trickiest, and that's within a corporation. When I was restarting PanXchange, I went to Jim McNulty, who's the former CEO of CME and former board member of ICE, NICE, ICAP, and probably every other institution that should really matter to you. And I said, Jim, I've got the patents, I've got the business plan. Why can't I just go to one of these exchanges and sell it? And he said, sure, you can do that, and they'll offer you a decent salary and a couple of years runway. But if it hits, it's not going to be on your terms, and you certainly don't own it on the upside. So I'm obviously paraphrasing here, but what he's talking about is these companies have a fiduciary responsibility to their shareholders. So there's only so much time they can give you before they're expecting payout from you. And so for this reason, this route is often better for innovation more than sheer invention, because you probably will need more time, and you're not going to have that leeway to zig and zag and find your sweet spot like most startups do need to do. And that's probably a good segue for this last section. So now you've got your niche, your network, you've got your big idea, you're pretty sure you know where you want to go with this. What next? I call it swimming with the current, because you should not feel like you're swimming upstream 24/7. And even though it's disruptive technology, there should be some flow to it. And you need to set yourself some reality checks in the beginning, because don't forget, your big idea is your baby and love is blind. So for example, when I was thinking of restarting the company, I couldn't believe that no one had even tried anything close to what I had designed. And I was absolutely sure that this system was the best for physical commodities. But to make sure I hadn't lost my sanity, I thought, okay, I'm going to my network and I'm picking 5 rock stars. And if I can sell them on my vision and get them to join my board of advisors, then it's a go. So the rest is history on that one. Also, have a personal stop loss. I didn't do this the first time. And that first time was during the dot-com days. And that mistake came at a really high personal and financial cost to me. So I thought that this strategic partner was so close, and I kept getting all of these, like everyone telling me it's great. But the reality was this was over a decade ago, and my client base was not even close to ready to trade online. But I couldn't see it because I was too close to it. Third thing is what I learned on the other side of the table with an angel investment group for several years. And the biggest mistake I saw entrepreneurs making was being a chameleon, chasing the money. You need to do one thing really well before you diversify. And the last thing is, I lost the page. The last thing is to be agile. So I developed this for sugar, world market sugar. And I did the pilot launch and found out that people really liked it, but they didn't need it. So then I started looking around, where can I put a proof of concept market together? All signs kept leading to East Africa, to the point where I actually got a paid contract to go pilot this. And now we're live for 2 years. And I'll tell you, if you told me a year ago that we would be trading sand on PanXchange, I would have thought you were smoking something. But we are gearing up for our biggest launch in the 100 million ton frac sand market. We have some of the industry's biggest players getting behind this. I couldn't be more excited about this. And that's because we're being agile and finding the true opportunities. So all I can say is I hope some of that resonates with you all. And if it doesn't, I'll leave you with this one nugget. Always eat dinner before the company Christmas party. The food runs out fast, the booze keeps flowing, and I did learn this one the hard way.